these are the things that we will discuss today. Getting around in Amsterdam, so simply getting from A to B. Checking in at AUAS housing for the people that have a contract through us. Registering with the municipality. This is mandatory for everyone that will be living here. So take notes. Opening a Dutch bank account. For some people, this must be arranged. For others, not. We will all explain this. How to collect your student ID card in Amsterdam University at school. Arranging your insurance. And there are several insurances that you must arrange or can arrange. It depends. Collecting your residence permit for non-EU students and where to find more information. And at the end, we will divide you all in breakout rooms so that you can meet each other. One is for exchange students and one is for degree-seeking students. So you can all meet each other there. Try not to talk with each other yet too much in the chat. The chat is really for asking questions that my colleagues will answer. Try to wait for the topic to be explained in detail by us here before you ask the question. We will of course try to do this as well as possible. And also this whole recording and all the slides and all the links that are in the slides will be shared with you by email afterwards. So yeah, you can really sit back and see what we have to tell you. You don't have to worry that you will miss something if we go too fast, for example. So yeah, that will all be done by us. Yeah. Okay, then I think that we can start with the first topic. Getting around in Amsterdam. Yeah, the main app that you can use for this, you probably all know it, you probably all already use it, is Google Maps. Nowadays it's really well organized. You can not only see how to walk or bike from A to B, but you can also see which train to take or which bus to take. So it's really an app that will give you an overall immediate overview of how to plan your itinerary. Most common way to get around in Amsterdam is by bike, but we also have a good public transport system. We call it OV, Openbaar Vervoer, translates. So you will see these two letters quite often, I think. Yeah, there are trams, buses, trains, metro. There's really a lot. So it's quite easy actually to travel around within the city. It is an option to take taxi. It's quite expensive though, so we would not recommend it. The cheaper options, you probably all already know it as well, Uber and Bolt. But yeah, the city is not that big, and still these options are more expensive than OV or going by bike. So yeah, of course it's up to you, but we do not recommend this too much. We really recommend to do as the locals do, to buy a bike. This is really the most fun, healthy, and convenient way to go around town and to see everything and to get to know the city really in the best way. So you can try to buy a bike secondhand or firsthand. But a really good option that is here is Swapfiets. This is a system that leases bikes to people. So you pay an amount each month and then you rent a bike. For this can be for like a long period, for like 1 semester, for example. Then for people that want to travel through Europe from Amsterdam. There's the Flixbus. This is really super cheap and brings you everywhere almost, to big cities at least. Last week I took one to Brussels for €9, so yeah, it's actually really super affordable. Yeah, for public transport, you can buy single tickets at vending machines. This is possible, but it's not really convenient. It's more convenient to have like one card that you use for everything. We call that an OV chip card. You can use this for buses, trams, metros, and trains. And you can top the amount of money up when you use it. It's very easy. And also another option is OV Pay. Here you can check in with your debit card, but this is only for debit cards from European and Dutch banks. And also recently some banks got excluded. So yeah, we recommend you to check out our website to get more information on this topic. Also, for public transport, there are several discounts that you could make use of, possibly. It really depends, though, on your study program, how long you are here, and also what you need. If you live out of town, you probably need it during the week. If you live here but want to travel through the Netherlands in the weekends, a weekend discount could be more practical for you. So it really depends on, yeah, what you need. The Dutch government offers this discount for some students, so it could really be good for you to check this out. For exchange students, probably student mobility card is more convenient. You will also get discount on leasing a bike, for example. But yeah, try to check this slide out when you have the time and to really see what is the best option for you. And here in this slide, there's a better overview. I'll leave this here for a sec so you can go through it. Okay, then the next topic, checking in at AUAS housing. For the people that have a contract through us, there are several housing providers that you will have your contract, that you can have your contract with. The biggest one is Lievende Kei. So most of you will have your contract through them. They have a really extensive app with a lot of information, guest info. This is really practical for you to download. Probably you've heard it from them. But yeah, make sure to check it out. It's really, really handy. Then we have Duo, our second biggest housing provider. They also have a very informative website, so check it out. And then there are these smaller housing providers that will all inform you on how to arrive at your house, at your future house. All even the Kei buildings are keyless, so the doors open with an app. And we want to really warn you for activating this app before you arrive, so that you don't arrive and stand for a closed door, have to activate your app still when you don't have internet yet, or these stuff have happened in the past. So really make sure to activate your app up front, and you will need your contract number for this. Really check this out well enough before you arrive. Most contracts so also with the other providers, are not keyless. So you will have a key, a physical key, that you will need to collect in person. Only you can do this, no one else can do this for you, so you really have to be there personally. And should you arrive late, or at another moment, like later in your contract, please let your housing provider know so that they still expect you and know where you are. Also, for either of these key options, try to arrive during office hours, so that for the people with keys, because it's only possible during office hours, but also for the keyless contracts to, should you have any problems with entering your building, it's of course the best if you can reach someone at that exact moment. And for people that arrive during weekends and must stay in a hostel, maybe for a few nights, we also have some recommendations on our website, so please check them out. That's it for checking in. Then the next topic, registration at the municipality. This is very important for everyone of you. It's mandatory for everyone, so also for European students, not only for non-European students, because if you register at your municipality, you will receive your BSN number. It's like a registration number that every citizen has, and that will allow you to open a bank account, visit a doctor, go to the hospital if you need to. So it's super important to do that. It's not only mandatory, but it's also, it's really helpful for yourself if you do this. Depending on the municipality where you will live, you will need to make an appointment, which we will explain in the next slide. Most of you will live in Amsterdam or Diemen, and some people maybe in other municipalities. If you don't have a rental contract, for example, if you live with friends or family or other relatives, you can ask permission to register there at that address. Please check our website for this, for more information on this, or for the document that you will need. But just so you know that it is possible to register even though you don't have an official housing contract on your name. And if you don't have a place to stay yet, so if you cannot give any address that you're staying at, it's not possible to register. You really need to have an address. And make sure to check out our website if you need any more tips on this. For the people living in Amsterdam, there are registration days, and from 4 August until 26 September. There are days where you can go to a location to register, but you need to do some things beforehand. You need to pre-register. So you need to prepare the documents that are listed here: a passport, your contract, a proof of enrollment, and maybe some other things. This is all listed on our website and on the website of the municipality as well. And you need to upload these things on the municipality website first in order for you to make an appointment. So please do it all in this order, and try not to make a regular appointment, because that will just make the waiting time way longer, and your BSN will you will have to wait a while on your BSN, and that's not really convenient. And for the people living in Diemen, you can make an appointment through their website, through this link that is listed here. And you will have to visit them in person as well. Same goes for this. Check their website, see what you have to bring, and come prepared so that everything goes smoothly. And for other municipalities, we don't really have much information because there are lots of other municipalities. So please check out the website of your future municipality if it's different from Diemen or Amsterdam. And yeah, make sure to register. Then a topic on sustainability. We at Amsterdam University, Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences, sustainability is super important to us. It might be different in your home country how things are organized, but here we really try to minimize our bad impact on the environment, and we hope that our students do the same. There is a really useful website for this, amsterdam.nl/waste, and through this you can inform yourself on the waste system in the Netherlands. So when or where to throw out your waste, how to separate your waste. For example, paper and glass are collected on other locations than your regular waste. So really, yeah, try to do this carefully. We hope that everyone reduces, reuses, and recycles. There are just so many, there is a lot of stuff. And a lot of people just go to IKEA and buy everything there, but there's a lot of furniture or other useful household stuff that maybe previous tenants sell or are sold in secondhand shops or thrift shops. So yeah, there are a lot of options to arrange secondhand shopping. It's not only good for the environment, but also way cheaper. So yeah, maybe check out this link to know more about this topic. Then tap water in the Netherlands is the cleanest from the world, apparently. So you can just drink it out of the tap, refill your bottle. You don't need to buy new water in the supermarket. It's really not necessary. And also reusable bottles and cups are needed on campus because when you order coffee here, you need to bring your own, where you buy a coffee at the machine, you need to put your own cup underneath, and there are several taps for drinking water as well. So make sure to have one. Also in supermarkets or stores, it's not really common anymore that you buy bags there. You also have to pay for it. So bring a reusable bag for groceries. Then on campus, there are rules: no smoking, no vaping. So yeah, just so you know. And hopefully together we can provide or contribute a bit to a better environment on campus. Then opening a Dutch bank account. This is probably not necessary for the people that have a European bank account. Please check this with your European bank because it's not 100% true, but most European banks will have an IBAN number and debit cards that you can also use in the Netherlands. It's really useful to have this for easy money transfers and to use in shops and supermarkets because credit cards are not accepted, mostly not accepted in stores. So yeah, if you have a European card, you can probably use it here. Just double check it with your bank. If you don't have a European bank account, then you must open a Dutch one. Yeah, handy for the things that I already mentioned, but also for example, paying your monthly rent, having like automatic payments or your phone subscription. If you want to use OV Pay, payment method for public transport that I spoke about earlier. If you need to transfer money, if you do this from a non-EU bank, it really takes much more time and costs more. So please open a Dutch bank account. This is also needed for the reimbursement of your immigration deposit. So yeah, please open one. Then which one should you choose? We do not really tell you which one you should choose because it's really up to you. It really depends on your needs. But we have some listed here. So check those out, check their websites out. Some banks have the option to provide your BSN number, the citizen number that I mentioned earlier, afterwards. So you can already open a bank account at the first two on this list. Can be practical. Maybe you like to have a more sustainable bank, then the other banks are better for you. Really depends. Yeah, that was it for banking. Then I give the mic to Lottelinde.
All right. Let's check if I have taken over the control of the slides. Yes, I hope you are still there and everybody's still happy and enthusiastic to come to Amsterdam. A lot of information has been given already, and we're not there yet. There are still some important topics that we want to share with you in this arrival webinar. The first one you already see on this slide, which is health insurance. First of all, you are responsible for your own expenses. So if something happens, it's very important to know this, that you will have to pay for it. So it's really good to understand that health insurance and other insurances are very important to think of and to have that arranged before you arrive here. Also, for the health insurance, it's mandatory by law that the day that you arrive in the Netherlands, you have this figured out. Just to mention some of the costs that you might come across if you do not have health insurance and something might happen to you. For instance, if you have to go to hospital and stay overnight, one night might cost around 800 euros. An X-ray is about 80 euros, and a specialist consult starts from 110 euros. So these are quite high numbers. So be sure that you are well insured. For our students from the EU, you can apply for the European Health Insurance Card, the AHIC, which is for free. However, you still need to check what is covered because this does depend on the country you are in, what is covered here in the Netherlands. So do check it. As for the other students, and if you are not fully covered for what you want to have covered in your health insurance, we do really recommend short stay insurance from AON. This is a company that we have been recommending for a lot of years already. They do specifically cater to international students, so they know what students need, and they have good packages for students as well. They have hosted a webinar, and the new recordings of that webinar will come online soon on our arrival webinar website as well. So that's good for you to check out if you're still doubting on health insurance and the coverage that you need and that you want before you arrive here in the Netherlands. Then, of course, there are other insurances as well. Think about travel insurance if you plan to travel outside of the Netherlands, household contents insurance, and liability insurance. We have had accidents with water damage with our students before, and it's really good in that case that you have a household contents insurance because then you don't lose all the value of stuff and goods that you might have lost due to damage. Household contents insurance, you have to think of theft, fire, or water damage, as I just mentioned. The liability insurance is when you accidentally cause harm to other persons or to their goods. So that might happen. You never know what can happen. So it's good to have those insurances. We, of course, hope nothing will happen, but you just don't know what life brings to you. So we Dutch people really like to be insured and have everything in order before we go and travel somewhere. So do check it out. Also, if you are planning to open a Dutch bank account, most of the Dutch companies, companies do have insurance packages that includes the three insurances mentioned above. Also, AON insurances that was just also mentioned for the health insurance does also serve as a travel, including luggage insurance, and covers legal assistance and household contents. So do check out the packages that AON offers students as well. Then directly linked, of course, to health insurance is health itself. Again, we hope nobody will have any issues during their stay in the Netherlands. But of course, you sometimes have to visit a doctor. So I want to go briefly into two things, which is the health system here in the Netherlands, but also a little bit on how health culture in the Netherlands. So the system works like this. If there's not an emergency, for which you always have to call the emergency number 112 that is mentioned on the bottom of this slide. If it's not an emergency, you will go through the general practitioners. This is in Dutch called huisarts. You will hear this word more often as well. It translates literally to house doctor. And it's good to know that for all the medical assistants, you will go through the general practitioner. They can prescribe drugs, medicine to you. Also, if you need any other assistance that the general practitioners cannot give, then they will be the ones to give you permission to go to other specialists. And now it's important to know that AUAS is linked to the AUAS general practitioners. So for our international students, they can register with the AUAS GPs. They are near the Amstel campus, right in the city center. And it's very convenient to go there for two reasons, actually. For the health culture in the Netherlands, as I already mentioned, that I wanted to go into very briefly, because what I see in international students, but also expats, migrants here in the Netherlands, is that there are sometimes surprised by our health culture. Sometimes if you have a headache or some other complaints, doctors might just say, take paracetamol and everything will be fine. So we are kind of a bit relaxed if it comes to health culture. Now, the AUS GP, of course, is very experienced working with international students. So they have a little bit more of cultural sensitivity. So it might be a good reason. This might be a good reason for you to register with them. But also in Amsterdam and other big cities in the Netherlands, at the moment, we do have a problem with not enough places for the people. There are not enough general practitioners. So the AUS GP does have spots for international students. So even though you might think it's more practical to have a general practitioner closer to your house, which I totally understand, you should check if there's space. But for the two reasons I mentioned, it might be good to just register with the AUAS GP, which I also recommend. As a student myself, I was registered with the AUAS GPs, and I have had good experiences there, to be honest. Then other AUAS student support that we offer within our institution. These are the student counselors. So you have to think of anything within that hinders your study progress. So think of stress, personal situations, issues that you are dealing with, that you are struggling with, and you really want to talk to somebody about that. Make an appointment with the student counselors. And we also, of course, have student psychologists if in case you are in need to talk to psychologists here within the institution. All right, now we're going into a topic that is not for all students. It is exclusively for the students from outside of the EU or the European Economic Area, EEA. Again, just as was mentioned briefly before, it's not the same thing as the registration at the municipality. These are two different processes. So the collection of your residence permit is only for non-EU, non-EEA students, and it's about your residence permit to stay and study here in the Netherlands, whereas the registration at the municipality is for all international students, gives you your PSN number, and as was explained before, is very handy to open a bank account, to go to the doctor, etc., etc. These are two different things. So for the collection of your residence permit, all of the non-EU, non-EEA students have already started their immigration process, have been in contact with Jandrik and his colleagues at the immigration department. Um, and for all of those students, there are a few things that you still will have to do to complete the process. You have to submit your biometric data and or collect your residence permit. So on the slide, you can already see the biometrics for which nationalities still have to hand in their biometrics. All the others probably have done so already. And after you have done that, you will be able to collect your residence permit at the central collection days, which are on August the 30th and on September the 27th. And this week, you will receive an email with all the details. So no worries about that. Just check your email and check how and where you can collect your residence permit and what you still have to do before you can do so. And of course, a financial point that we have to make, and it's very important for this immigration process as well. You have had to prove your financial means, and of course, the immigration deposit as well. So it's for you, the students that have to collect their residence permit and want to receive also the proof of financial means on their bank account. Very important to register with the municipality and to open a bank account as soon as possible so that you can also finalize that process and get the proof of financial means on your bank account. All right, calling back the attention of all the students here in the webinar. Of course, you also want to have the proof of your being a student here at the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences by collecting your student ID card. You have had information about this as well already in the email, but it's important that you upload a picture on my HVA card. Important to note is that you will not receive a confirmation. That's just the system doesn't have that included yet. So don't panic about that. If you have uploaded your picture and you did not receive a confirmation, it will be fine. From Wednesday, the 3rd of September on, you will be able to pick up your student ID card at the service point or customer service desk, depends on which campus you are studying at. Make sure to bring your passport and your ID EU ID card so they can hand out your student ID card. And apart from just being proud of being a student from the AUAS and have the official card, you can use this, of course, for the library. You can use it to get discounts in the city, but you can also use it to get coffee from the coffee and tea from the coffee machines. So it's quite handy and important to get that sorted out as soon as possible as well. Now, the cost of living in Amsterdam. To be honest, the city has become quite expensive over the last years. Um, I hear a lot of people complaining about groceries, including myself. It's really become very costly and expensive. So we really want to warn you beforehand so you have a clear idea of what costs and prices you might come across. Um, so like if you want to get a sandwich and a coffee, normally this won't happen under 10 euros. So you should think about prices like that. As mentioned on the slide, a coffee, 4 euros, and this is already a good price. I had last time I had one for over 5 euros. It's becoming very expensive. A sandwich, 9 euros. A beer for wine, 7, long drinks. Don't even mention cocktails. It's becoming so expensive here. So that's really good to at least have mentioned here with you and share with you. So you have a sort of expectation that meets reality. Uh, Having said that, of course, there's also a fun part of student life here in Amsterdam that is gives you a bit of discount and that you can also have nice social events that do not always include having to pay. So that's the next slide I want to go through. That is student life in Amsterdam. First of all, of course, we have ESN. That's Erasmus Students Network. You can get a local body through them. It's very good, well organized how they match the different local bodies to international students. The exchange students have already been invited to the introduction on Monday, the 25th of August, where you will meet ESN as well. And they will host many different activities during the semester. So it's a good and nice way to really be involved in student life here in Amsterdam, international student life. And it's not all of the activities are for free, but at least there are reasonable prices that they have to charge for some of their events. So check that out. Also something that you might not uh, think about that much, but is very an important part of your life as well, is where you live. If you live through AUAS housing and one of our housing possibilities, then there are most of the places do have either a resident assistant, a host, or caretakers. These are people that are very good to get to know. Most of them are students as well. Sometimes they organize nice events or get-togethers at the building as well. And not to forget, get to know your neighbors because this is the place where you live. It's good to know the people. It's good to make friends that way as well and become more local and more like an Amsterdammer, as we say. So this is also a good way to get socially and culturally involved in your neighborhood. Then, of course, all the study programs also have a student network, and there are student platforms at the AUAS. So, if you really want to be involved in that as well, if you're studying at a full degree, you will get in touch with the student networks and associations at your study program. They also do have different activities more related to the study program, interesting. Keynote speakers, etc. So check that out at your specific study program. And then from a central level, we also have different student platforms here at the AUAS. Just meant to mention a few. For instance, HVA Pride. This is a student platform specifically for students from the LGBTIA plus community, but also if you're not involved in one of those letters, you can always be part of HVA Pride. We're very proud to have the platform here at AUAS. We also have AUAS Limitless. This is a platform for students who have a disability in some or other kind of ways. So you can also join them. And then we also have STACY Community Center, which STACY stands for Student Engagement and Social Impacts. And those students work a lot on programs that talk about issues that are not talked about enough. Think about decolonization and anti-racism and these kind of topics that some students are very interested in and want to know more about. So check out these student platforms as well. Then for the students who really want to get active, we also have University Sports Center, USC. They have different locations at the Amstel campus, at the Sport campus as well, and some other locations that you can check out. They give discounts to students, and you can get different kind of sports classes, boxing, yoga, you name it. So check that out if you want to stay active during your studies. And of course, there are a lot of students who like to do more cultural and arts oriented activities. Then we have our CREA Cultural Center. Think about dancing classes, painting, poetry, all these kinds of storytelling activities. Check that out as well for their offer. All right. Now, we have been sharing a lot of information already, so maybe you already got lost and there are so many questions that pop up in your head. And also, when you start here, there might be questions that pop up, different departments. It's a huge institution. Where do I have to go? What do I have to check out? Know that we do have student info. This is information by students for students. They are physically available at different campuses. So the 4 campuses that we have on the slides that will be shared with you, you can check the links and you can check where you can find them. They are there from Monday to Friday from 9 till 4. You can find them in the chat in Teams. They have their website, phone number, and email address. So think of questions that you have to find the right department for grades, for issues in the student information system, all these kind of things, timetables, but also more practical or fun things like questions that you might have about the city, ideas, advice that students can give you to get around. Know that you can always contact student info and get their advice. Then another very nice way to already connect uh, on a social platform is Going Connect. You can already join. This is really the exchange community for our exchange students. So you can join this platform. It's safe. There are different groups that you can join. Discover students that have shared interests like sports. I already saw some mentioning about football, etc. So you can join there and see if there are other students who want to play with you. You can meet your peers from your home country or other countries that you're interested in. You can find your future roommates, etc. It's a really nice way to already get started, already know some people before you arrive and feel safe and included before coming here. And you can do that already now just by scanning the QR code. Maybe you have registered already because the exchange students have already received an email about this, if I'm correct. But you can also use this QR code and start go and connect with each other. I will just leave this on the screen for a few seconds. All right. I hope you all had the time to scan the QR. Let me walk you through the checklist just to wrap up what we have been talking about the last almost 1 hour. So I've been talking about health insurance, which is mandatory before you arrive in Amsterdam. We've been talking about public transport system, especially the bike that we recommend the most. Registration at the municipality, also mandatory. Opening a bank account, which is optional, but for non-EU and non-EEA students, it's mandatory. So keep that in mind. Collecting your residence permit, also for non-EU, non-EEA students. Collect your student ID card from the 3rd of September on. You can collect the physical one here at in Amsterdam. And most important, of course, join uh, us here, enjoy Amsterdam, and have a lot of fun studying, living, and sometimes also working here. Now we're almost there, but not yet. Bear with me for the last few slides. I can imagine that it was a lot of information, and maybe there are some questions still left that were somehow not answered in the chat. If you still have questions, make sure to send them to us through email. Here on the slides are some interesting and good links that you can use to answer your questions as well, like getting started, the website that we offer, but also some more general information about studying in the Netherlands. You can check studyinNL.org. It's a very good website. It gives you a lot of information. If you have questions about the introductions, there are two different ways. Like the exchange students should contact the international offices for questions about the introduction welcome events. And the degree students should contact the contact person from the study program if you have any questions on the start of the introduction of your program. And of course, the first one on this slide, amsterdamuas.com, upon arrival, where you will also be able to find the recordings of this webinar. And again, we will also send you all of the slides that we have been presenting here to your email. That will come later.